so you can just, still focus on God but fulfill your responsibilities. Because the more things that you bring into your life, it's like how Steve and Ruth were saying earlier, like you can't focus on two things at once. I mean, really, I'm a mom of 4. If you count Spencer, it's 5. But I think I'm more of a kid than he is, so he takes care of me. So my life is filled with distraction. Like I sat down to even write this out, and I've got, 6 bags of flowers on my table from this wedding that we're planning now that was supposed to be a small deal, but a couple of my friends won't let it be a small deal. So now I'm doing girly stuff like buying flowers and looking at dresses and yay. And, there's crumbs on the table from Carson because he does not know how to use a plate, and he just leaves a trail everywhere he goes. I got all 4 of my kids in school, so Spencer decided to buy me a kitty. So now there's a little baby cat running around the house. But it's good because I don't do very well in my loneliness. I have not yet reached the point where I can discipline myself well enough. So if I don't wake up in the morning with a purpose and a resolve within myself to say, I'm going to take the kids to school, and then I'm going to come home, I'm going to get in the shower, and I'm going to be at church by 9 o'clock. If I don't resolve within myself to do that, all it takes is 1 inch this way. Scroll, 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 scroll. And then I'm lost for the next 5 hours. I can completely justify it to myself. The fact that you guys don't have these right now is a gift. It's a gift. Because the more time, I don't even want to look at it. The more time that God helps me stay off of this thing and stay focused, it's kind of like you feel yourself. It's almost like a detox. Because we get bored. We want something to distract ourselves. And in recovery, we're not used to feeling those feelings, and that's why certain emotions can be a trigger for us. That would trigger us to go a way that we know is not meant for us anymore. So now we're in the process of learning different ways to go. So let's see here. When Julius and Meredith talked about emotions yesterday, one of the things that stuck with me was this paragraph that says, constantly agreeing with anger, fear, disgust, sadness, hate, rejection, loneliness, that's a big one, self-pity, that's another big one, have learned patterns of responses. If I say, oh, well, I'm feeling mad, so I'm just going to, go kick rocks or something, I don't know, it's a nice way of putting it. That's what we've learned to do when we're mad. Or I'm frustrated, so now I'm going to go do this. It's something that we've just learned. So we have to relearn, and we have to ask God to come in and help us relearn how to handle these emotions, because the Bible is full of proof that these emotions don't go away. And in your sobriety, especially in the first year or so, you're going to feel them even more intensely, and they're going to feel overwhelming, and your first reaction most likely is going to be that you want to run away from it. So those patterns of responses are a downward spiral of making wrong decisions in your life that bring more consequences that keep you from your destiny and purpose in God. It's like David and Bathsheba. Okay, Amelia, if you're watching, thank you for this, because I was talking with Amelia this morning, and I was like, give me an example of distraction, and I should have known, because Pastor Jim has given this sermon so many times. You guys know how it goes. David was king and had everything that he wanted, but then he saw this one thing that he thought he just had to have. And that's us. That's us. We're no different from David. And you guys know what happened to that. David went so far as to put her husband on the front lines to have him killed, because that's how far we will go to cover it up when we mess up. And then we all know the consequence of that. So, not to say at all that we're never going to mess up, but it is important to actively every day ask God, what do you want me to do? Because my flesh is screaming at me to do this. I have deluded myself enough to convince myself that this is right, but I know you're pulling me somewhere else. And the way that God pulls you is not always the easiest way. I think out of it like this. when I got clean, it was because I finally reached a point where I realized that the pain of recovering physically from what I had done finally outweighed the temporary high that I was getting. That pain that is inevitable that you face afterward, eventually you get to the point where it's just, there's no comparison. And if you run from these feelings, and I wanted to a lot, but if you run and you go back to the thing that you think is easy, it's not like you're escaping a war. It's going to be hard either way. But you have to determine within yourself which is harder, staying true to yourself and following God and persevering in this, or do you want to go back to that? Because that's hard too. That's not easy. It's easy to think that, oh, if I just got high, I would feel better. No. You have to think about the after. That's why Pastor always says, don't give up what you want the most for what you want right now, because right now it's going to be over really, really fast. So I want us to go to Genesis 4. You know, it's so funny. My oldest daughter put the face recognition on my phone, but we can both open it. I love it. Let's see here. So we're going to go to Genesis 4, 6 through 7. So we know that distractions aren't always a physical thing. It's not like we quit smoking and then we're like, ooh, I see a cigarette. I think I want one. You know, they're emotions. And for me, you know, I learned that anger is just unresolved sadness. I have a big problem with anger and frustration. But I'm working with a trauma counselor and know that she's helping me see that, you know, those issues and my tendency to want to outburst, but I don't. So I'm just constantly like, all the time. It's a trauma response. So just let me assure you guys, because I've struggled with this myself, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There are things about your thinking and your reasoning that you just haven't figured out yet. So you have to give yourself time, allow God to open those doors, and he will put the right people in your life to help you figure out what it is. And then it'll start to make more sense. So we all know about Cain and Abel. And Cain was jealous because his brother brought the good sacrifice, and he didn't. And jealousy is one of the number one ways that the enemy creeps in. And we don't even know. Like, you don't have to necessarily be jealous of someone's talent. You can be jealous of what you perceive as their happiness. If you think their life might be easier than you, like I know I struggled with feeling like people had a better upbringing than I did, so they had a better chance at success. Like I could never become that because I, see what I'm saying? So this is where Cain's getting upset about his brother bringing such a good offering. And it says, so Cain was very angry and his face was downcast. Verse 6 says, then the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. And that's the NIV version. I'm going to switch over to New King James real quick, because in the New King James it says, if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. This is the very beginning. That was the intent from the very beginning. Even after the fall, he still said, that snake is going to bite your heel, but you'll crush his head. So that the Lord revealed that to me today, and that just gave me a lot of hope to realize, we're supposed to roll over this. It's not supposed to be just this endless, this is so hard. It is hard, but that's why we have to reclaim victory over and over, and you have to speak that into the atmosphere of your life. Because you have it, sometimes, we forget. So let's go over to Psalm 142. Before David became king, This is when Saul was still around. He was running for his life. He was hiding in a cave when he wrote Psalm 142, and we've all been there. Yeah. I know for me, when I would relapse, I wouldn't show my face for weeks because I am super paranoid. Super. 142. 142. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, it was bad. Like, I see, like, a lot of times, people take selfies and everybody has, like, this picture difference, in active addiction. I don't have an addiction picture because I literally could not look myself in the mirror. I could not be in a room with a mirror because it's a demonic influence. It's extremely demonic. That's why, I'm not going to gain any popularity points today, but I really don't care because I think you guys need to hear some of this. It's just like, when you've gone back out there and then you want to come back and you think you need something to take the edge off. Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with weed and there's nothing wrong. Yeah, there is. Sorry. But yeah, that pain that you feel is a reminder. Let that buffet your flesh and kind of let it dig at you for a minute, because you need to remember that. Because the more steps we take to numb ourselves and to dumb it down, you're going to stay stalled longer. So I love this psalm because David is so honest. He says, I cry out to the Lord with my voice. With my voice to the Lord, I make my supplication. I pour out my complaint before him. I declare before him my trouble. Not holding anything back, complaining and everything. I dig it. I've been there. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then you knew my path and the way in which I walk. They have secretly set a snare for me. And for David, this, yes, was about Saul and his men after him, but for us, it's applicable in our day-to-day lives because it's not necessarily people. The enemy can use other people without their knowledge to pause your purpose, to create distraction. Look on my right hand and see, for there is no one who acknowledges me. Oh, this is a self-pity. I so go there sometimes. No one cares for my soul. I cried out to you, O Lord. I said, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are stronger than I. You guys ever felt like that? What's after you is so much stronger than you, you might as well just tuck tail and just give right into it. I felt like that for a while. Like I could not even say the word of my drug of choice. And it's only really been within the last few months that I finally know now that my resolve with God is enough, that God has worked in me enough that if I was ever confronted with it again, I would be okay. Very careful not to be proud in that, though, because it can happen just like that. So I cry out to you, O Lord. I said, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. Attend to my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are stronger than I. Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise your name. The righteous shall surround me, for you shall deal bountifully with me. And that makes me think of when you wake up that next day and you didn't give in and you come in here and you're surrounded by your brothers and sisters, and it feels different. It feels different when your mind is clear, and I did it. When I first started singing here, it was about 6 months afterward that I had first tried dope. And there was just a couple of times, because I learned not to do it real quick, that I had been high, and then I thought I wasn't anymore, and then I tried to do that, and you can't do that. It disrupts the whole atmosphere. And as you guys grow and you become more discerning, because it's a gift to the Spirit, you'll be able to sense that, and you'll be able to tell when Either someone's under the influence or they have been recently and they start hollering and praying for somebody, or they're trying to lead something, or they're just in your circle in the immediate area, you'll be able to feel it and discern it. That's why they call it, wine and spirits. It's not just alcohol. It's a spirit. It's a spirit. So I love this psalm. I'm putting it on a note here that pouring out your complaint can even be a distraction. I'm a whiner. Is anyone else a whiner? Yay, thank you. If you didn't raise your hand, you're lying. No, I'm just kidding. But God always wants to hear it. You're never bothering God, and he already knows. I believe that it gives him joy when you release that into the atmosphere, because it's freeing to just let him know what you're feeling. He's already interceding for you. Yeah, you're being honest with him. Exactly. He already knows, and he's already working it out for your good. But when you speak it into the atmosphere, you give him permission to do that. So that's why it's important to do this, to surround yourself with people who will keep you accountable, that you can trust. You don't have to tell everybody all your business, but you need to have at least one person that you can say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you pray with me? And make sure it's that person, not that person that says, hey, I'll help you break the rules. That person that says, no, sorry, I will pray with you, and we're going to ask God to give us the strength and the wisdom and the endurance to do the right thing. So I want to ask you guys, I won't give you the microphone, I'll just repeat them. What are some of your distractional triggers? I made that word up. What are some things that you can think of just right off the bat, or even one thing that distracts you? TV, being discontent, that's a huge one. The opposite sex, thank you. Door open, gonna take it. I've been here for 4 years. I have never once seen a relationship birthed in this program that was successful, especially when it is done against the guidelines of the program. It will not work, sorry. It doesn't. Yes, friends that are also using, that's a big trigger. Big trigger. And that's why you have to be so careful. And it's hard when you first get clean, because you have to suddenly find a whole new set of people to hang out with. When Spencer and I reconciled, it was difficult because he was my supplier and he was who I always used with. So when God got a hold of him, and he became a changed man, a brand new creation. Well, that brand new creation had to be strong enough in the Lord to deal with my trauma. And he did. And it was weird, because every day was a constant trigger, because I was looking at the same physical face, but that was a different person. So, and even still, he'll tell you, we were joking about it last night, he knows that if I have something to say, I shy back from sharing. I'm working on sharing my feelings. But he will just sit there, and he'll stop what he's doing, and he'll say, I know you have something to say. I'm like, no, I'm fine. No, I know you have something to say. I'm fine, I don't want to. Because in my mind, I'll go back to that situation where that was the guy that was cussing me out and screaming at me and threatening me. And he never hit me, but it was intimidating sometimes, But now that person is a man changed by God. So it's just a very interesting situation. The physical face is there, but that person isn't. And I hope Spencer will share his full testimony with you guys sometimes. It's incredible. There's a reason for why he is the way he is. Yeah. Right. I know, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's the power of God. That's the power of God, because before the Lord got a hold of him, it was a completely different story. It's night and day difference. What else? So somebody said TV. Yeah, that's a big one. Yes, fear and shame, wanting to keep ourselves away from our family, because, I still struggle with that with my family. Like, I have a brother still that doesn't talk to me. I've been clean for 2 years. My brother don't talk to me. It is what it is. I got other brothers and sisters. I got you, man. Rusty. Yeah, money. Money can be a distraction if you're not disciplined to use it wisely. Everybody wants to be like, oh, I don't want to sit around here all day. I want to go get a job. No, you don't. Because if you go get a job and then you got a full paycheck and you don't got to pay rent, what are you going to do with it? Not saying that you would. I'm just saying it's an unnecessary temptation that you don't want right now. Right? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you could. I just know for me, well, I don't know, because I never had to go and buy anything. And that was another thing that saved me, because I literally didn't know how to function out there. I didn't. And so, but that worked to my advantage, because in the midst of those cravings being so bad, I literally just didn't have anywhere to go. I was too afraid. So, but I think that you should be, because those are life and death situations, and you guys know that. You guys know that. Anytime you want to answer that call, you could not wake up from it. So I put, for my distractions, phone, piece of cake, maybe some fried chicken. I'm not even kidding you guys, because food is it's like the relationship thing. It's like an instant gratification thing. Your brain wants to release all these feel-good, chemicals, and, oh, this makes life great. Yeah, endorphins. Yeah, I got to exercise. I hate exercise, but it's like the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself. That releases endorphins. That, keeps you going. So, yeah, your drug of choice isn't really your problem. It's just a symptom. It's just a symptom. And I pray that all of you guys just stay around long enough and let God keep working on your heart, because the more he works on your heart, the less and less that symptom becomes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have a friend, my best friend actually in Coffeyville, that just remodeled her bathroom. And she has 2 bathrooms, and I can't go in the one bathroom because the doorknob reminds me too much of something. I literally can't. I've been clean for 2 years, and I'm a leader in the church, but I'm here to tell you that I can't look at a doorknob sometimes. That's how real it is. I get it. I do. And that I don't ever want to sound harsh or try to oversimplify things, because it's not easy. And I understand where a lot of you guys are coming from with your drug of choice, that it is a battle that you crawl your way out of. And God delivers you little by little. And I swear it gets easier. And the dreams eventually stop. Those little hallucinations or whatever, just the moments where you visualize that thing, that place, those will get less and less, and they'll happen less often. I promise you they do. So let's go to Psalms 37. I have got to take this lock off of my phone, because I have to be at the right angle. So Psalms 37, starting in verse 37, we're going to go from 37 to 40. I need to go back to the NIV for this one. This reminded me of Steve and Ruth. They instantly came to mind. Julius and Meredith, Pastor Dick, Pastor Lisa. I think we can all agree these are all people that we want to share in the attributes and the knowledge and the love and the grace that they have and follow their example. Those half dozen people right there, I mean, those people are the world. If you're really searching for what the love of Christ is and what patience is and kindness, she's like my mom. Like, for real, she's been there for me in so many. They care so much. So verse 37 says, consider the blameless, observe the upright. A future awaits those who seek peace. All sinners will be destroyed. There will be no future for the wicked. The salvation of the righteous comes from the Lord. He is their stronghold in time of trouble. The Lord helps them and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them because they take refuge in him. I vividly remember times where I was almost curled up in the fetal position because the craving was so bad. And just saying, God, you got to help me. God, you got to help me. God, I'm giving you this to you. Surrender is nothing more than just saying, here, take this. Take it. I don't even know how to give it to you, but take it, please. And believe that he will provide you with a way out. If you can hold on for 60 seconds, just hang on. He will provide a way out, and it will pass. Isaiah 55. We're going to do 6 through 8. In those times of trouble, this is a great little nugget of scripture for you to pray out loud. Seek the Lord while he may be found. And that's always, you guys. Every time you look, he can be found always. Call on him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake their ways and the unrighteous their thoughts. Let them turn to the Lord, and he will have mercy on them, and to our God, for he will freely pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. You know, the Bible says that his thoughts for you outnumber the stars in the sky. Yeah, that they outnumber the stars in the sky, and they're more than the grains of sand. That he knows the number of hairs on your head. I love what Steve said today, that 48 years and he's still finding stuff out about God. Ruth said we'll find out about him through eternity. We can't begin to wrap our brains around the thoughts that he thinks towards us. Our human understanding is so limited. It's nothing compared to what he truly is. So I know we still have some time left, but really the last thing I had was go over to Matthew 11:28. This verse, Spencer will tell you, was a defining moment for him. Oh, yeah. It's one of the best ones. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. You know, the Bible says not to put the Lord your God to the test, so I'm not telling you to test God, but I am saying to trust him when you find yourself in those moments of you're frustrated, because this place gets crazy sometimes and we're all feeling our feelings brand new. And I know you guys just butt heads and it makes you think, I just want to be done with this and I want to go. We'll go where? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're not done yet. And until God tells you, until you know that you have a sincere moment with God where he says, okay, I have somewhere safe for you to go and a family for you, so you're not alone, so you don't give in to your loneliness, to your anger right now, then you need to stay where you are and trust the process. We love you guys so much. We want the best for you, and we're all learning through this, every single day. And it's not perfect. None of us are perfect, but we love you with the most genuine love, and we care. What's up, Blue? Yeah, that anger is unresolved sadness. Yeah. Yeah, like say okay, like say I'm learning with my trauma counselor that there's probably instances from my childhood that I've literally blacked out because the pain is so great. Um that unresolved pain, whether you know it or not, you carry it around. And I could even liken that to things that have happened in recent years that I just haven't dealt with, just kind of swept under the rug, but they still crush my heart. The fact that I wasted so much time being strung out instead of being a good mother to my kids saddens me to the point that it angers me. Yeah. No. No. It is a lot easier to get angry when, that's why we want you guys to learn how to operate in the spirit, because, the fruits of the spirit is patience and kindness. Not saying that you'll never get angry, because you will. We're human, but it gets easier. I can't stress that enough. It gets easier. So that is really all that I had for today. Do you guys have anything that you wanted to add? Are you excited because it's only 1:43? Till 2 usually, or 2:30, right? Yeah, we can do that. Oh yeah, God taught me. That's a good song. Okay, you got a song too. Okay, well, if that's okay with them up there, then I just want to pray with you guys real quick, and then we'll get some music going. Okay. All right. Lord, I just thank you so much for today. Thank you for this time here together, God. Father, thank you for every person that is sticking it out and that is here. Father, I ask that you just open the eyes of their hearts, Lord, and let them see how much you love them, how badly you desire to pour into their lives, to reach down into their spirits and to comfort them, to just wrap your arms around them and let them know that you're here, Lord. Thank you for being here. I ask that you just open the eyes of our spirits, Lord. Open the eyes of our hearts. It's just been my prayer. That has been my prayer this week, to just open the eyes of our hearts, because the world is deceiving and the things of the world are deceiving. And Father, once we truly see you, once we truly know what it's like to be in your presence, we know that that is all that we need. Father, I ask that you bless everyone through the rest of their day. We love you so much, God. I just thank you for everyone here. In Jesus' name, amen.